Yeah, we're here with Shawn Stiteler. Known Shawn for a long time, owner of East Coast Roofing, Siding, and Windows. And we wanted to kind of cover a lot of stuff just as far as the company. And he's got a lot of cool stuff coming up soon. So we want to be able to share that to social media and things like that. But um, it's kind of informal.
Yeah.
So we're I think the first part. So you had told me this story a minute ago, like a while ago, I think. So the company started like in Ocean City, right?
Yeah.
Tell me that
So
story.
yeah. So my dad, started. This is actually technically, I think, before he finally like incorporated himself. We're an actual S corp was before LLCs even existed. This is back in 1978. My father worked for his father, so my grandfather had a roofing company when he got back from World War II. And his brothers were also in the trade. They were working for my grandfather at the time. My dad always wanted to start his own business, and so he asked my grandfather for a truck. Grandfather gave my dad like this old beat up truck, and he wanted to start his business. So back then, Ocean City, a lot of the houses had these white 3-tab shingles. And of course, you get a lot of winds. Those shingles weren't very good against the wind, and so a lot of them would blow off. So he started his business in Ocean City and bought a bundle of shingles and some nails from a supply company. I think he said his receipt was like $12. And then he went door to door. He used to say he was embarrassed about this truck. It was a really bad truck. They parked it down the street, and they got a site, and he would knock on doors, and he would notice people had missing shingles and said, "Hey, I noticed my name is Larry Stiteler. I'm starting my roofing business. I see you have missing shingles. I'd like to repair that for you today for $25." And he'd say, he had people slam the door in his face. Some people said, "No, thank you." And some people took him up on his offer. And I know his very first day in business, he made like $250 or something like that, and repaired the roofs right then and there. And some of those customers that he did that roof repair for on his very first day are some of our customers still today. I mean, I get told stories where like they remember my dad like that first day of business and have gotten multiple roofs on the houses that they've bought over the time. They bought a new house. They would always go back to my father. I remember when I first got into the business, my father introducing me to several people that said, "Hey, this is one of our very first customers, our very first year." And that was pre 1979. And then it was January 29th, 1979 at 4:12 p.m. that my dad went to the county office and it actually got the S Corp corporation like actual punched in and became incorporated.
So on like the logo, I don't think you put established, but that would be the year. If on your logo it was like established.
Established is like officially
1979.
Yeah, but 1978 is when he went out and did that kind of soft launch bootstrap business, going out there knocking on doors and with a pocket full of change and a prayer, as he would say.
Right. Yeah. So why did he pick Ocean City? Just because of the beach and the wind and the surf and stuff like that? Or you guys have family like
No,
lived in Ocean City or something?
He's originally from Linwood, so my grandmom and my grandfather grew up in Linwood, and so it's not that far away, but it's just a location where they sustained a lot of wind damage. They had a lot of houses, a lot near each other, so you're not, traveling long distance to go from door to door, and so the location just fit, and it obviously worked out.
Cool. So now you guys are in Mays Landing, big office, a lot of crews. Everybody knows the Jingle. I guess we could kind of talk about that a little bit. Do you know when? It's okay if you don't, but do you know when what year you did the Jingle and all that stuff?
I don't. I remember being there when it was recorded. My dad had a friend, and a friend of my dad's, they were talking. I think she was like, "Oh, you know what? Like you need a jingle, and I got someone that can do it for you." And this person was actually a music teacher. I should know his name. He's a music teacher, was in Northfield, and he had a recording studio in his basement. He had like his own the cover band. They would go out and do like things. And I was there with my dad. I'd have been young, like 6 or 7, around that age. And
6, 7.
yes, oh jeez, no, right there, no, not at all. I was around 7 or 8 then, all right. And I remember being in the basement, and they had the soundproof glass and this whole recording thing, and they recorded 3 different jingles. And the one that we chose was my dad's least favorite.
Right.
He just didn't quite like it. He liked a different one instead. But I remembered that he's like, you know what? But I'm not my customer. I don't want to just go off my own feelings. So he had them put on these little tape cassettes, 3 of them, and he bought 3 little recorders with the tapes in them that had all 3 jingles. And he would hand them out to people, like his friends, his relatives. And he's like, listen, hold this for like a couple days. Everyone you know, have them listen to all 3 and vote 1, 2, or 3 which one is their favorite. And it was almost completely unanimous. It was everyone liked the one that we picked. It was like 90+% of the people listening to it liked the one that we chose, which was his least favorite. And he was so glad. He would tell me he was so glad that he decided to do that, because obviously it's been a big success for a company.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's amazing that you still have it, and luckily for some of the like great companies here locally, like advertising companies have it, and it's in such great quality, because we've had a few where like we don't have the original file, or we've sent it and edited it so many times it gets like a little distorted. It's still like, I just remember like driving on the bus as a kid, and it would come on the radio, and then you hear it now. And now, like, it almost sounds HD, it almost sounds better, but it's just amazing that we have the original one, and we have it with the music bed, so that, like, in the middle of it, you have the jingle, like, at the beginning and the end or whatever, and then you can whatever is going on that time of year, whether it's, um, long john stuff in the winter or summer, obviously, of wind damage, things like that at the Jersey Shore. And then obviously a ton of philanthropy and church stuff going on as well. But
Yeah, it's a nice jingle.
it's amazing.
It's fun. It's the band would tell us that sometimes when they would do their cover band and they would be out at like concerts and things, and they're playing and they're covering other people's songs, they would say, now for the song that made us famous, and they would actually sing the East Coast Roofing jingle at their concerts, and people would like all sing along and go crazy about it, because it was like, oh, this is the company that, or the band that actually created the jingle.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I don't think I've ever asked you this. We can cut this out too if we don't like it. It's the beauty of podcast.
You're seeing it, right?
Yeah. The beauty of podcast. So there's always say 2 things you don't bring up the tables at the dinner table, so we'll make it fun.
No,
bring up religion and politics.
We can take up
but no,
right?
I like one of the coolest thing about you guys is to like you're never looking to you always take care of the local community. Just having that church feel, that family feel. They don't have to actually be your family for you guys to take care of them. That's always been a vibe I've got from you guys. But I never asked you this. Do you drink alcohol? Do you smoke? Do you like do you do any vices?
That went like,
do you do any
wow. That was like straight on the left field. I'll be like, oh, are you religious? Like, when you go to church? You know what I mean? Do you drink?
What are you talking about?
That's funny. So no to smoking, no to any other vices. My wife and I do enjoy wine, for sure. We really do like wine, mainly wine with dinner. We're not just drinking wine typically, but we do. I really enjoy. I mean, it's just, to me, it's very fascinating. Actually, this past year, 2025, my wife and I actually got blessed, and we were able to go to Italy and France and got to go on some wine tours and things like that. And I'm just fascinated by the diversity of like how much, variety there is in the grapes and how it grows. And to me, it's like, it's just totally fascinating how intricate it is, and the different tastes, and how well it pairs. I'm a big foodie. So like my wife and I, same thing. We love food. We love flavor. And it's not just like, drinking wine just to drink wine. It's really, for us, it's finding a great wine that goes with a great meal, and how they enhance each other. Like, it's just, the other day we had a really dry Riesling for Christmas dinner. I think it was great, or New Year's dinner, one of the two. But anyway, it was, by itself, it wasn't good. But we had this nice, beautiful salted ham, and together it was like, amazing. It was like heaven. It was amazing. Yeah, I mean, so that would be.
So you have a farm. So the next iteration is you're gonna have wine on the farm? Are you going to be a
Oh,
sommelier? Are you
grow
going
grapes.
to become an expert
Oh my
in that
gosh.
space or no?
I've watched videos. No, I could never have that level of dedication, I think. I have a passion for it, but I'm still a total newbie when it comes to, a
Recommending.
sommelier or things like that. I watched the video and there's these movies out there called like the Psalms. You would think it's like the Psalms, like PH, whatnot,
Yeah.
Psalms like in the Bible, but no, it's Psalm like sommelier. And it goes over like the level of what they have to do to become an actual grandmaster sommelier, where they have to like be tested and know every region around the entire world. They have to be able to taste the wine, smell it, and taste it, and tell you exactly where in the world it was grown, what vintage is, what grape it is, what wine it is. To be able to know that much about wine it's one of the hardest things to accomplish in the entire world, to become a grand sommelier.
It's
But
crazy.
no, I'm not.
I get this guy on social media all the time. He like drinks it and he smells it. He's kind of like a viral. He's got like this slick back hair, and he gets at the table and then he approves it to the waiter, and then he keeps the bottle at the table. But that guy's awesome. But there is a good dude locally at Stephen Cookies.
Oh yeah,
he's like up there. I don't know if he's the top level. I think he might be. I've met like probably
less than 200
in my life
that are at a grand sommelier level.
Probably not. But yeah, George, he's like ridiculous. There's probably been like maybe 2 in my lifetime I've met that.
Yeah. I love meeting people like that. I mean, that alone, when we were in some of these restaurants in Italy and France, when the sommelier would come over, like you can just, what I love about it is their passion for the wine. When they are describing why I chose this wine for what you're about to taste and what flavors to expect and it really does enhance what you're about. If you just had a sip of wine and you didn't know anything about it, right? You're not going to get that same feeling or that same taste. You're not going to understand it as much. But when someone that is at that level of expertise can explain it to you in a way that and they're passionate about it, it's hard not to get, it's not to be contagious like that. I mean, to catch that energy and catch that passion, which if we want to bring it back to roofing, it's honestly why we train our consultants the way that we do, and then why we ask for, when we set up an appointment in a home, all decision makers to be in that home, is because I believe that our team is equally passionate about the industry, passionate about what we want, and we want to explain to the homeowner, hey, these are why we chose these products in our system. This is why I went in your attic the other day, today, and this is what I saw, or this is what I recommend, and this is why I recommend these things. And I want to know what you would like. What do you like? Do you want long term? Do you want short? Are you moving in a couple of years? Because then we're going to tailor the knowledge that we have, and we're going to customize that for you, and then give you an exact price. You know exactly what you're getting. Versus what a lot of people do is give free estimates. Now, we don't do free estimates. We do free consultations, right? Because what a lot of people do, they'll give an estimate. They might or may not go on your roof. They almost never go in your attic, and they're just going to give you a basically, like blanket roof proposal. It works for everybody. It's a one size fits all. It's just, this is generic and not customized for your home, but it doesn't always work because there are different ventilation practices. There are different methods, different warranties that transfer. I talked to someone that, hey, you know what? They may not be there for the 50-year warranty, but they love their home. It's been in their family for forever, and their kids are going to get that home, and that warranty is transferable. So now it's like, oh, I didn't know about this warranty. This makes this so much more valuable because that means my kids are never going to have to replace this roof either, and they're going to get this house. And so when you can understand those kind of things, you can really, help a homeowner make the right decision. And that decision may not be East Coast Roofing. I mean, that's one of the best things about what we do as a consultation is that we really are bringing education about the product, the warranties, the manufacturing, and what's important for them, because then they can take that education and they can choose which contractor is the best fit. Sometimes that's us and sometimes it's not, but at least we know that we did right by that homeowner. We gave them an education. We gave them the best, put them, I think, in the best position to make the best decision, whether that's with us or with another contractor.
Right. And it's genuine too. Yeah, you're like an expert in your craft. So
yeah.
You can't fake it. Like
the other day,
go in there and look at it.
Yeah. Yesterday, I was at a house where they had this insane condensation. They didn't know where it came from. They had other people out there. No one could figure out what it was. Inside their attic, it was just wet. And, I got out there because we're well trained and you're easy to learn something you're passionate about too. And so I get into the house and I get up in the attic and it was warm yesterday. was like 50-some degrees, which is unusual for wintertime, and the condensation was off the charts. I mean, it was moisture everywhere. And I was explaining to the guy, I'm like, this is impossible condensation because that household doesn't produce this much moisture. We get moisture in the air, sweating, showering, cooking, running water, all those things produce moisture in our air. That moisture it rises up, heat rises, it's in the attic. If you don't have proper ventilation, as the attic is colder than the house, that moisture gets drawn out of the air. And so for this level of moisture, though, it's like, I asked him, do you have fish tanks? Do you have aquariums? No. And I'm like, I think your problem is in your crawl space. Like, you have a basement or crawl space, and we need to get down there. And he's like, the crawl space is causing moisture in my attic. And I was like, I think you got a break in your hot water line because there's too much water. And sure enough, we got under the house and it was a waterfall. His hot water line was almost completely snapped in half. His basement had like inches of water in it already. It broke like a couple days before, and it was filling the house with just moisture. And again, like, everyone else was just, oh, yeah, you needed a new roof. Here's an estimate for a new roof. And it wouldn't have done anything at all. You know what I mean? Like, in a couple of days, had it gone on, he could have had to literally demolish the entire inside of his house because mold would fill inside the walls. It would start to get inside the actual house and cause all kinds of problems, not just in the attic mold, but it can be mold throughout. Right. And so again, it's just a matter of, being passionate, but matching your passion with education and then bringing that to a homeowner and go like, this is why we do what we do.
Right.
And that's a long explanation about that, but just a very recent story about how education and sitting down with homeowners and going inside the attic and getting to the roots of the problem. Really, in this case, he just needs to fix his piping. Now he's got mold and his plywood's all soaking wet. He's got other problems now too, but you can't just fix. It's like if you're bleeding and you're like, I got to change my shirt. My shirt's got blood on it, but you're not fixing the,
At least he knows what he needs to do now.
Yeah. So
remove, wet kind of drywall, whatever you have to do. Some stuff you do, some stuff you don't do.
So it's from vices to condensation.
Right. Yeah. No, yeah, I asked that. That's funny.
It was a funny question.
I asked about that because there's so much, there's different denominations and stuff like that. So sometimes they're a little bit more, some are more strict, some are more liberal.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's I don't have an opinion on the matter. So I don't think there's a bad way to spend your time. Like if you go to church, like what church it is, I'm never going to judge it. But it's funny. Some people don't. Which is great. Don't drink at all. Don't do drugs. Don't. Some people are just like, doesn't matter. You have a beer, have some wine, have it with dinner. Depends. So it's funny. But
I think you got to follow your. I mean, it's not. I think the Bible's black and white on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Some things it's not, and I think you got to follow your conviction. And that's a hard thing to say. I'm not trying to get on a totally different topic where we're preaching here, where it's like, I follow your conviction. Like that's yes, in the word, like take it back to the word. But like when it comes to us, my wife and I, we're not drinking to get drunk. We're not getting to a certain level. You know what I mean? It's like, but I don't have a conviction where it's like, okay, the Holy Spirit's convicted me, stop doing this. Like if I ever got to a point where it was like that, or it was like, you know what, hey, there's a season to put this away to make sure that this doesn't have power over my life. There's, then we would do that. Like, okay, maybe for a year, maybe for 6 months, we're just not going to have any wine at all because, I just want to make sure that everything's within control and balance and stuff like that. So I do think that there's certain things where it's, hey, this is pretty black and white, where it's like, all right, you know what? There's not, again, people are like, oh, I'm not doing TV. I've heard people like, oh, I'm not, caffeine's a drug and I'm not having any caffeine. If that's their conviction level for them, that's what they're called for. And they should be obedient to that conviction. You know what I mean? Where they're like, oh, I have no problem. I'm not convicted about cheating on my wife. Well, okay. It's pretty black and white that's not okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I firmly believe your backgrounds and your beliefs super come to the forefront of your business. Like you believe in a certain way, you believe treating people a certain way. Like you go in their house, you take the time rather than just like doing a drone and quoting something like that. As long as you have conviction in it and stick to it, that's kind of, that's why I say no religion and politics at the dinner table, but it is important to your business. Your faith has always been a part of your business, and like having that conviction and putting it out there that it's important to you. You have, especially like in the social media age, like you have like the expertise and stuff. Like if you're a creator, a content creator, you would say your business does roofs. Like that's your expertise and stuff. But then you also have your other interests, right? Like you have
Yeah.
farms and you like food and
Yeah.
you go
Yeah.
to church and like it's super important for people to know, like not just this. They hear the jingle, the company is larger than life, the company is huge. They could call you personally on the phone, right?
Yeah.
It's good for people to know, like, you know, it's a real thing, real people, real family. Um, so
And
that's
you
kind of
get
why I
that
bring it up.
with a family-owned business like this, the business does take on it's the culture, right? But the culture is crafted by the owners. And now that's hard when it's a, corporation, like maybe the culture of like Apple may not be exactly like, the owner of Apple, right? But they create that too. But when a local family-owned business, like for me, it's like getting to know who I am, right? But yeah, you're right. This is a faith-based business, right? My father started this business out. He was a ninth grade dropout. He dropped out like I think 3 or 4 months into ninth grade. No high school. We got a GED, but no high school, no college. You know what I mean? And he created this business, been there for 47 years. It's very successful. And why? Because he put his faith in the Lord. He really prayed to God. He asked God to bless his business, and he was faithful with it. And he's gives back and stuff like that. And I believe that's why we are who we are today. And the identity stays with us. You know what I mean? My father passed and the business fell to me. I wanted to double down on my dad's legacy, and that's treat every home as if it was his mother's, and every customer knows, all my employees know that every house out there is still Larry's mom's house. It's not their mother's house because maybe they don't like their mom, but it's the owner's mom's house. Listen, if you have a job and your job required you to interact with your boss's mom, you know what I mean? You're going to do things at a certain level, right? You're not going to be like, well, forget this lady.
Mhm.
Uh, if you're a waiter and the boss's, the owner's mom comes in, you're going to take the extra time. Well, you should do that with every customer, right? And in our business, that's what we would look at every customer is all Larry's mom's, house. And but our faith, my father's faith, shapes the business and who we are. It's the integrity thing side of it. I had a job one time where, we did a repair. It's just a short example, but the customer loved it. Everything was good. But I noticed that the wrong color shingle was chosen. And you couldn't even see it from the ground. But it was like, we do final inspections, we do things. And even the customer loved it, paid in full. Everything was good. When it came across my desk, I was like, shoot, like that's not the best color match. It's close. And I went back and it was raining the day we did the estimate, which dulled the color, which reason why. I mean, I get why it happened, but I was like, that's not the right thing to do. So we went back and we replaced it again. I called the customer. I was like, hey, like, oh, we love the work. Thanks for calling. I was like, we have to do it again. You know what I mean? Like the color that was chosen isn't the best fit, right? It was a mistake that happened on our end, and it was very close and similar, but the angle of the picture, I knew it was different. And the guy was like blown away. It's like, that you would call and catch, even though he didn't catch it. But it's like we want to always do the right thing in all these situations.
Right. Yeah, the company's always been beyond just the business side of it, beyond the you guys always do a great job. I think people know that. That's why this sustained success has gone for so long. But yeah, it's always been beyond that. So you got a lot of stuff coming up this year beyond just doing installations and
Yeah.
service in the local community. So let's get to some of that.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll start with Project Honor 250th anniversary of the United States.
We're very excited about Project Honor. Yeah. So the full name, right, is Project Honor, Star, Stripes, and Shingles. The tagline is covering those who served. So that's really cool.
Thanks.
ChatGPT may have had some influence of the name, right?
It's good.
But yeah, it's got some helpful things.
That's the new way of like you had 3 jingles and then you have people pick from it. When you go on ChatGPT, you could ask it for like several. So you're still the human is still handpicking the one they
exactly. Like. Yeah. I came with a lot of names. I was like, no, I don't like these things at all. But I saw that one. I was like, I like that a lot. Yeah, as long as like I'm convicted a little bit. I don't use ChatGPT a lot. My fear is that I'm tag this is I don't want ChatGPT taking over ChatGOD. You know what I mean? Like it's so easy. It's so easy to go to ChatGPT, right? Like, hey, write this commercial, do this thing here. But like I want to be cautious. Like I don't like forget to get into prayer. Like that's the harder thing to do, right? Get in the word, pray, seek the Lord, try to get influence from the Holy Spirit is like, what direction do you want me to go? How do you want me to, I mean, it was like taking these things and going back into prayer with them as well. It was like, but it's just so easy, right? And that's the thing, right? Just, you take the easy road. Like it's a slow and steady thing. But as much as ChatGPT is useful, I want to continue making sure, like, oh, this is a tool, and I'm not going to let this replace, the ultimate wisdom, right? Which is Christ. So anyway, but going back to Project Honor now. So my father passed away in September 2023. It was a tough time in the business, right? I had stepped away from the business a couple years before. Not by choice. It was a long thing. We can get into that some other time or later in this podcast or whatever. I'm open to talk about it. However, though, my father approached me. I was out of the business for about a year and a half. My father approached me and said, "Hey, things are pretty tough. I'd like you to come back." He was out of the business too. He owned it, but he wasn't involved in any day to day. And he found out that, hey, we're in a pretty tight spot. And he said, "Listen, if you want to come back, it's yours. If you don't, hey, no sweat." You know what I mean? I prayed a lot about it, but the Lord said, "Hey, if you go back, I'll go with you and I'll go before you." And so my wife and I made a decision to come back. Came back on a Monday. Parted ways with the previous CEO that was running things at the time on a Wednesday. My father passed away on Friday. So it was very like, oh, bam, you're in, and now it's real. I had a lot of work to do to get things where we need to get, where we need to go. I had a lot of faith in, like, Lord said, be with me. I'm just gonna, we're gonna get through this time. And then it was shortly after that, maybe a month or two, where our buildings at were at Mays Landing in Hamilton Plaza. The owner of Hamilton Plaza, Sue Hopkins, she talked to my dad frequently. They were very good friends, talked about business. She came in and she was just talking to me about, hey, this and this, and we're chit-chatting. And she's like, "You know what, Shawn?" She's like, "In a couple short years, and I'll be here before you know it," and it certainly was. She said, the nation's turning 250 years old in 2026. What are you guys going to do anything special to celebrate that anniversary? She's like, I asked you this because someone actually asked me if my business is going to do anything special for this. And she's like, "I just want you to think about it now, because before you know it, it'll be here." And I thought about it, but you know what? You're right. We do a lot of roof giveaways. We do a lot of charitable things. I would love to do something special for the 250th anniversary. And I said, I would like to give away a free roof, maybe 2 or 3, to veterans on 4th of July for 2026. And then I really felt, after I said that, I kind of said to myself, I really felt the Lord say, "No, I want you to give away 25 free roofs in 2026, one for each decade." It's one of those times where you want to get your hearing checked. Like, wait a minute, is that real? And so I don't hear it audibly, but there's just this feeling that, no, the number's 25 free roofs. And there's, as crazy as it is, we're like, it's looking bleak on paper, the business even surviving to the end of 2023, let alone giving away 25, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars at our cost. I mean, at our cost, it's hundreds of thousands in just a couple short years. And but you just know, I don't know how to explain it. I just had this feeling like, this is what I'm supposed to do. And when I got back to the business, I was very clear about it. "Lord, you're the president, you're the CEO. I'm going to follow your lead. I just a steward. Like, help me steward this as best as possible. And if he wants to give away 25 roofs, and I'm not going to stop him, I'm like, okay, we're going to do it." I, let some time go by. And then I talked to my team in 2024. I said, "By the way, 2026, we're doing this project." I didn't have a name for it back then, but like, we're going to give away 25 roofs. I don't know how, but we're doing it. Lord said to do it. He's got a plan. I'm going to trust he's got a plan to do it. So then last year, 2025, we started putting things together. And now it took, by the end of 2024, the business was completely healthy. Everything was great. It was like, it was a miracle. You can look back on paper from the time I got there to what the Lord did for us. It doesn't make sense. It's unreal. The stories that came out of that, the things that happened, it's a miracle in and of itself. But so Project Honor, getting back to that long loop around. But what it is that, what we created now is this Project Honor, Star Stripes and Shingles. And all throughout 2026, we're going to be giving away 25 free roofs. We're going to package them around patriotic holidays. The first one coming up is President's Day. So President's Day, we're going to pick several of these roofs to give away. And they won't be done on President's Day. We're going to announce who the winners are. And then we're going to get them scheduled right, as soon as we can. And then Memorial Day, obviously Independence Day, Veterans Day, probably Flag Day, maybe Purple Heart Day, and it's what it is. It's for veterans. It's for survivors of veterans, so widows or widowers of veterans, and then also active military. And it's for all branches. It's for the National Guard, the Coast Guard, obviously the Air Force, Marines, the Navy, the Army. All those branches will qualify for that. It doesn't matter if someone served a year and was honorably discharged, or if they were in it for 20 years, they qualify. Now, what we're particularly looking for, it's not just someone that served, right? I have a voting committee. It's not myself. It's not my wife. We do have say kind of final choices on that, but I have a committee of 4 individuals from diverse backgrounds, but all military backgrounds that have served our country, that are going to review these applications and see, okay, what service did they do? The application information is going to say, okay, make sure you have military ID, make sure the people that are applying actually did serve. And then there's a story part of it as well. And so there's like a Rubik scale of things like, did you serve? Did you get awards? That's all like some amount of point value, but there's still some human element in the choosing of the recipients. And that's going to be based upon the story. And again, like, what this person did and accomplished, and what they continue to do beyond the military for their community and things like that. But also there has to be some level of financial hardship, right? I mean, we're going to give away 25 regardless, but it's really hard to choose. We've already got a couple applications already, and it's like, I want to give away a roof to all of them.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure we're going to get a lot more than 25. The difficult thing is like choosing who gets it over someone else, and people might be more deserving. Maybe they did more in their career, but maybe they have great incomes, and maybe they don't have any leaks, versus like someone that literally is a widow, is 90 some years old and can't even afford groceries and has terrible leaks, but maybe your husband only served for like 6 years. How do you choose that? You know what I mean? Like someone that just can't get it versus someone that might have an opportunity to get it, versus someone that's like, all right, my roof is getting old, but I don't have any leaks yet, but in a couple of years, I'll probably need a new roof. It's like, it's really difficult to make those choices. And so,
absolutely. But y'all been doing it for a minute, because during the holidays, you always do the roof giveaway. But this is
this is grand scale.
At like gigantic to scale, but you've gone through the process to like at like a much smaller degree to kind of know what to look for. You probably get some phony applicants, because it's just the way the world these days.
Yeah.
But not only do you need kind of to spread the word about it, get applicants, anything people can do to like share this and get that out there. The second piece of it, which I'm really trying to help with, and I'm really trying to put out there, shameless self-plug now, is they may need more than roofs. Obviously someone's got to pay for this roofs, pay for the workers and stuff that are doing the installations and stuff, maybe on those days. So if there's any other local businesses, I'll have you state your case too, but if there's any other local businesses that want to get involved, whether it's monetarily, whether they think they can donate raw materials, or they could, put in something in the home they may need. Like, you told me a crazy story about like leaks and stuff like that. It may not just be the roof. So there may be other things going on inside the homes of some of these applicants. So if any of you guys want to get involved to nominate someone to win one of these 25 roofs, or if you're a business, local business, there's a page for Project Honor. There's his general contact page and phone number. So just go to eastcoastroofing.com, go to the contact page, get in touch with Shawn, anybody that can help and do this. And we're going to try and share as much clips and stuff as possible. But yeah, if you had to say kind of a few things to the local community of like what you're looking for, what would that be?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, one of the biggest ways you could support this project is like and share. Find our Facebook page. There was 2 Facebook pages, as you know.
Yeah.
One got lost before I got back, and the password's gone. No one can get in. We had to start a brand new one. So find the Facebook page. That's probably less likes. Maybe by now we have more likes with all this. But find the one that's got information about Project Honor. Like and share those posts, because you may not know someone. Obviously, if you know someone that fits that category, please nominate them. But if you don't know anybody, maybe someone does know someone. So like and share, get the word out on Project Honor would be great, because then we can make sure that we find the right 25 people. But also what you mentioned, what I'm trying to do now is especially when I get these applications, it's like, man, that there is a lot of need out there and we want to help a lot of people. Now, I'm not looking for monetary donations. I'm not looking for people to help fund the 25. The Lord was very clear for us. We're going to give away 25. If we got to pay 100% of the cost, the material cost, like, yeah, our vendors and our suppliers, they might help out at all. And that's great. But I'm reaching out to them, and I'm reaching out to, like, I'm going to reach out to other, maybe even local roofers, as far as like, please, like, get involved. If you want to donate a roof, we have plenty, or you want to find your own application. I still believe we're in the greatest country in the world. And I believe the reason why, whether you're Democratic, Republican, conservative, liberal, we love our country. And why? Because we have freedoms. Why we have these freedoms? Because the men and women that served in our armed forces and then died and fought for our freedoms. And we should give that back. And what better year to give that back and even kind of heal some of this divide than the 250th anniversary of our nation. And we celebrate all year long, not just on Independence Day. But so someone that want to get involved, like, I'm willing to forego. I told the suppliers and vendors, I'll forego any material donations if it means if you give that to someone else and that allows that person to donate a roof. You know what I mean? Or do something along those lines and stuff like that. And so, but you're right.
They could do their own version of this, maybe
their own version of it. And I'm happy to share the Project Honor branding and all of that and make this larger than East Coast Roofing. You know what I mean?
They can pick up one of your applicants, or they could go
exactly.
On
they can find their own applicant, right? We have a good voting committee. We have good structure to it already, I believe. So if someone wants to, like, someone's local and wants to be like, you know what, I would love to help out. Hey, you know what, I do painting, and if you find anyone that really needs it, one of your recipients, let me know. I'm happy. Listen, I'm personally happy to call the office, reach out to me. I'll talk to you directly about if you just feel led to get involved somehow. I'm happy to brainstorm ideas. But again, I'm not looking for monetary donations to help pay for these 25 roofs. We'll figure that out ourselves. But if someone wants to give monetary, we'll find a way to give that directly to these people. Maybe it's hey, here's a free roof and here's a $250 gift card for groceries.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we'll give these monetary donations directly to these widows or active military, these families that are in this, and we can just help out more. So
it's a fun project too. It's wild that 250 years and you're doing 25 roofs. So everybody gets the math on that one. But it's crazy because I know people that have lived to 100.
Yeah.
I know people, and it's only 250 years. That's all. Like,
I know. We're babies.
like we're so young.
Yeah.
So it's amazing work. It's gonna be a lot of fun to see it through. So we're gonna keep pushing it and listen to every media source. I think in South Jersey is kind of on board with this, and yeah, we're gonna keep sharing it and pumping it up. But yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It is exciting. But my vision, really, I mean, one, love that we're gonna be able to give away 25 free roofs. Still haven't got all the math and the numbers figured out how we're gonna afford all of it, but I truly believe the Lord's got that part figured out. That's him. So I'll leave that in his hands. But really passionate about getting the word out there and seeing if we can get other businesses, whether it's roofers. I'm a friendly competitor. If one of my competitors, local roofing company, like, I have no problem at all. Yeah, for 17 years, we've been giving away a free roof every year, right? For our Larry Stiteler Memorial Roof Giveaway. It used to be the roof giveaway or antler roof giveaway. We renamed it after honor my father that started it. And, some years we give away one roof, some years we give away two roofs around Christmas time. And we'll still be doing that this year. So at the end of this year, come like early November, someone who's not a veteran or hadn't served, they still apply. That's a good community citizen, someone that's given back to their community in some way, whether that's through serving in the armed forces, a firefighter, a teacher, or someone that just, like, helps their local church. They qualify for that annual roof giveaway. We just did one in Pleasantville just last month, for the 17th annual. This year will be our 18th annual. So we're still going to give away that free roof as well. So that'll be number 26 at the end of this year. But when I see other, like this past year, I saw, Apex East gave away a free roof that actually had like an American flag on it. I thought that was awesome. I don't care. It was like, oh, they're copying you. Like, I think it's great. You know what I mean? I saw another company up, like, out west, like Grand View Exteriors, gave away a holiday free roof this year. I think that's amazing. I'm very, very passionate about the roofing industry in itself. And I would love that the roofing industry get a better reputation for caring for its community. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so if this Project Honor whether we get this thing statewide or nationwide, it's not about recognition. It's not about, oh, East Coast did this thing. But if we can just get the industry behind it, that's why I'm happy to share the branding. It doesn't have to be East Coast at all. Just the project honor, the logo we have for it is pretty cool. And if we can just get that, I know it's Star Stripes and Shingles, so it may be hard for a flooring company or a painting company to get, but still the whole project honor side of things and just helping, or do your own thing. But I encourage you, if you have a business, or even if you don't, you can volunteer, find a way to support a veteran or support active military. And please don't forget about widows or widowers of veterans. I think particularly widows in general, but even widowers, but find some way, I think this year in any of your own capacity to, really give back to those that have, given to our country.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. So that's not the only thing going on too. You're going down to Guatemala a couple weeks.
A couple weeks. I'll go down to Guatemala. Yeah.
So rebuilding a full school there.
Yeah.
But you've done a few projects there. So tell us about your father. He lived down there for a while. But
he has, yeah.
He, schools, dental offices, just buildings, just getting running water, you name it. You've been kind of rebuilding that country from the ground up. I don't know enough about
Guatemala. It's amazing.
Yeah, rebuilding Guatemala.
I give you scripture thing. It's just down by
I sound like the president. It's never been bigger. We've been rebuilding the whole country.
No. So our mission in Guatemala started like 15 years ago, maybe more. Again, hard to remember timelines. Our company's mission is to make a worldwide difference, right? That's our mission statement, make a worldwide difference. It kind of sounds hokey. We do a lot for our local community. Sometimes we get flack for helping out Guatemala, but we do things right here in our backyard. And I think the 25 roof giveaway is a good example of that. Sport Links, the Rescue Mission, and all these other, local things that we do. Community food bank, we give 1,000 pounds of turkey every year to the community food bank around Thanksgiving. But Guatemala has a special place in my father's heart, special place in my heart. About 15 years ago, we opened up a nutrition center down there through Manna Worldwide. So Manna Worldwide, they are the good organizers of this. They find a local local church in Guatemala that can get local food. Some people, they buy food here and they ship it to Guatemala or ship it to these countries, which is good in itself, but it doesn't stimulate any local economy. Where we can find good stewards of resources and support them down there. So Manna Worldwide is really good at this. So they find a local church and they can help organize local funding, and we fully sponsor the financial part of it. We donate the money. They themselves go out and get the food and get the stuff, and they are feeding kids every day. So, we opened up this nutrition center, and we were feeding about 50 to, I think, 80, upwards of 90 at certain points, twice a day, kids in Sololá, Guatemala. And then my father wanted to go down there and visit, and then he just loved it down there. And we were bringing shoes and doing shoe drives and like those Crocs and stuff, and bringing bags and bags of shoes. These kids that just don't have shoes, But, and then he just started not coming back. Like we go down there for a week, and there was 2 weeks, and then a month, and then 2 months, and then he ended up like staying down there for 6 months and a year. Eventually landed in Lake Atitlan, which is not too far from Sololá, in a village called Santa Cruz, which is one of the poorest villages on the lake. You can only get there by boat. So it's like you fly into Guatemala City, then you take a 2-hour car ride to Panajachel, and then you take like a 20-minute boat ride to Santa Cruz. And that's the village and where he's at. And then this village had no dental clinic, like no dentistry things at all. There was a doctor that went down there like 30, 40 years ago, started a medical clinic, like got done with the United States, went down there and just been treating people down there ever since. We partnered with him, built a new building so he can expand his actual medical clinic side of things and also incorporate dentistry. For the first 5 years getting this dentistry involved, East Coast was sponsoring people in the village to get a boat ride, pay for the boat ride, and pay the full cost of the dental to send them across the lake to where the only dentistry was in the area and get their dentistry done there. But the problem is the men couldn't really go. They worked during the day. The only time they go to the dentistry was during the day, so it was difficult to get them to go. But now we were able to establish a dentistry building inside this village. People were dying of toothaches and tooth infections and things like that. And now, just getting, one of the hardest parts was honestly bringing awareness to like health in your teeth,
Right.
because they just never even heard of a dentist before and knew about these kind of things. And now the biggest product though is the school. And the education down there is most kids in this village finish their education by 6th grade with less than half with the ability to read, write, and do basic math. You know what I mean? And so, what that does is that creates kind of a downward scale of poverty. It keeps people in this poverty in this village. They can't really go anywhere. The other side of this is that this particular village is they're Mayans. It's not. That's a lot of Guatemalans speak Spanish, right? But Mayan. There's still a lot of local Mayan population there, and they speak a language called Quechuquel, and it's an ancient Mayan dialect, and it has so many unique and different dialects. It's such a complex language that this particular dialect of Quechuquel is really unique to that village. And then if these people from this village go, let's say, across the lake, it's often difficult to communicate. I mean, it can get done, but it's almost like as if you like know Spanglish. Yeah, I know a little bit of English, Spanish, you know what I mean, but I'm not really good at Spanish. You can kind of communicate, but you can't really get a job there. You can't really communicate. You can't live there in a sense. You can maybe go there and get certain tasks done, but so
if you wrapped it with a bow and you're like, here you go, here's the means to go get it. They can't even communicate like which.
Yeah. Going back to the dentistry thing, exactly. You know what I mean? And so, education is important. Obviously, we take it for granted. There's been a 501c3, a nonprofit down there for like 30 years in Santa Cruz called Los Amigos de Santa Cruz. They've established great roots in this community, great community trust. They have programs to teach women like skill sets, like baking and cooking and things. They also have educational stuff. They've been doing like after school tutoring, reading, and things like that. The village has been asking them, like, please, can you open up a school? Because the schools there, unfortunately, suffer a lot of corruption. And the government has a lot of corruption in it. The funds never make it to the school. Never make it to Lake Atitlan to begin with. And Santa Cruz is one of the poorest villages in Lake Atitlan. So they get like the last of the last, And unfortunately, the teachers that are in the public schools don't really have passion to teach. They're there because of political reasons, right? Oh, I know so-and-so, so I have this teaching job. I don't care. The kids fail. There's no real passion beyond that. So what they're building is not a private school, but a community school from kindergarten to 6th grade. And that these kids, when they graduate this school, they'll be trilingual. They'll be able to read, write, and speak, and not just Quechuquel, but in English and in Spanish as well, which is going to give them a terrific step up. And it's going to change that downward scale of poverty to an upward scale of prosperity. And it's really what we're excited about. We're excited to be a part of that. We're going down there in a couple weeks for the groundbreaking ceremony. Now, they've been raising funds for a while. They've opened up the school like 2 years ago. They started with a kindergarten class. That kindergarten class graduated to a 1st grade class. Then they have new kindergartners. And this is kind of where they're at now. And their school year just got done as the rainy season and stuff. So just about a month ago, that 1st grade class graduated. The kindergarten class graduated. The small building they've been given now can hold one more classroom. So that 1st grade class is going to go into 2nd grade. Kindergarten's going to go into 1st grade, and they're going to take on a new kindergarten class. But this is kind of it. At the end of next year, that 2nd grade class is going to have to go back to public school unless they have this community school built. And so they were given a location. They have these terrific architects that specialize in building like these kind of like buildings in third world countries, mountainous regions that are doing it for free. Basically doing all the architecture. It's built like on the side of a mountain. You know what I mean? So it's not the same architecture materials that we have today. So they have been blessed with these things, but it's still going to cost a lot of money. It's upwards, I think it's 1.3 million is the total cost. That's not just to build the school. That's the cost to build the school, to buy the grounds, to get all the furnishing, all the actual employees and payroll, and to run it for the first couple years. They have enough funds raised already to start the construction of the school, so that a groundbreaking ceremony is going to take place at the end of January. Carrie and I, my wife and I, are going down there as part of that groundbreaking ceremony to see that. We want to be a part of that as well. My father did a lot of things in that village and stuff, and so we're excited to be a part of it. But we are East Coast Roofing is donating matching funds up to $50,000. The fundraising ends at the end of this year, so we're very proud. We've already been able to get the community to raise $23,000. So we've already, and so that's like $46,000 we've already been able to raise toward this school project. We would love to hit that $50,000 goal by the end of 2026. So again, if you're feel passionate, feel led to help support some of the things that we're doing, you can go on our website. There's a Give Back to Guatemala page. You give the funds directly to Guatemala, just write East Coast Match in there. They let us know, and then we match those funds. So you can get your funds doubled. Every dollar you give, is another dollar that goes further beyond that. And so we're excited about that.
To this point, where did people come? Like when you do projects and stuff, do you have it as like an optional? People can do it. What to this point, or do you not want to say where it came from?
What do you mean?
You're like almost there. Like who?
So
who
it wasn't. That was
from?
other like that. This nonprofit has support for years and stuff like that. And so,
cool. Yeah, it's funny. I know I call them the keyboard cowboys. So like, why are you going down there? Why aren't you doing this up in the local community? Like, you do the local. I can't name. Do probably 50 some odd initiatives here with the rescue and with. That's why I kind of led with the Project Honor stuff and things like that.
Yeah,
it's funny, but what I would say to those people is like, go down there, and that's kind of where it really got to the next level. It was like when your dad started going down there. Like, it's like once you go down there, it's like
you see
how can you not
help
get involved?
Yeah, and the thing is, like, this is why I know this is going to work, and why I'm so passionate about it too. Is that we're not getting education to kids that don't want it. These kids want it right now. The kids that have been going through the tutoring program that are once 6th grade's done, that middle school is gone. You want to go to like high school. Beyond that, there is no high school in the village. You got to take a boat and get to like the upper middle school is to the Panat Shell. So these kids walk down the mountain. It's a mountain, and it's hard to walk down. They're walking probably about 15, 20 minutes down to the bottom of the mountain, paying to get on a boat ride, to take a boat for 20 some minutes into a village, and then walking several miles to get to the school. And the ones that have been educated enough and been tutored by this 501c3 that's already down there, like pursue their education. They go to that middle school after like 7th and 8th grade, right? They want to go to high school. High school's like 2 hours away. So they do that same walk. They go into that, then they pay to get on a bus and to go to like the capital, like I think it's like in Shayla, I think, or in Solala. They got to go much further. It's like a 2-hour ride, and it's voluntarily. These kids are getting up crazy early, going 2 hours to get to high school, and then 2 hours back. I can't get my kids to get up a half hour before school. Right. You know what I mean? And it's like we take it for granted. And I know I didn't want to, we take a bus ride. It's free, and we have good education. But these kids are pursuing on their own because they want these opportunities, and they just don't have the ones that we have. Right. And so it's like to get behind that, we couldn't help not to support this and capacity that we're able to do it. And so
so they're beginning to get those opportunities. It's funny. It's really easy for people to, like you said, like send food or do it once, and it's like that old adage, like, you give a man a fish and then you teach a man a fish. Like when they have the schools and they're getting supplied by they're using the food and resources in the rather than just sending stuff overseas. Like they're using the people, taking the money, and they're using local vendors and stuff to use that and stimulate that economy. It can sustain once it's built and once it's the structure is there, you can
sustain it. In fact, some of the teachers that are going to be in this community school are some of the girls that went through the tutoring program that this 501c3 has 20 years ago. You know what I mean? And so it's like now they have education. Now they've been with this 501c3 for a long time, and they've been partnered there that they want to give back too. Like they want to teach, and now they know they're passionate and they're taught how to teach. You know what I mean? So it's like they have like education to do these jobs where before it's like maybe all they could do was like cook or something like that, you know what I mean? Or do like a cleaning or something along those lines where it's very basic. manual labor. Now they can do something beyond that. And so but think about what the next generation of these kids are going to be able to do when they're able to read, write, and speak in 3 languages. I can't do
Yeah.
that. I'm doing Duolingo, trying to learn some
Yeah.
Italian. You know what I mean? I can't get past like lesson 2 sometimes. You know what I mean? But these
Yeah.
kids being able to get through all that, it's going to be
And it's moving
amazing.
in the right
And
direction. There's a
we're
lot.
excited.
Yeah, it's moving in the right direction, and there's a lot of organizations, like, I don't mean bad mouth, because for the most part, um, organizations and nonprofits and things like that, when they have something they're passionate about, they take the resources and they do a lot of great work. But some of the, like, kinda nonprofits out there I see, it's like, they almost don't wanna fix the problem because then their nonprofit ends, you know? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's just like, they get it, they get the donations, and then they feed the people, and, like, it never stops. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, but, like, it's to get it better and better
Yeah.
and better is a whole 'nother ballgame, and then physically going there rather than just sending resources, like, next level, so it's gonna be awesome. So, if you missed anything too, history of the company, stuff about Project Honor, how Shawn got involved in Guatemala, we'll have it all and segment it for you and provide as much exposure as we can. Um, no, is there anything we didn't touch? Like, what's next this year for East Coast? Is there any? We covered a lot, and this ain't gonna be the end. But yeah, is there anything you kind of want to highlight or anything interesting this year you want to share with the people?
No, I mean, it's far. I mean, obviously, we're still doing what we've done from day one. You know, providing excellent roofing, siding, windows, doors, gutters, garage doors. You know what I mean? Most things on the outside of the house, gutter guards, all that kind of stuff. Um, we have phenomenal financing options and stuff like that. So whether people can, have a hard cash for it or don't, you know what I mean? If we offer free consultations, and so we're going to continue offering the best customer service, continue just building the team, and doing what we can. We may not be the largest, but we want to be the best. And why I say that is like the team doing the right job, doing it the right way, doing it with integrity. Um, so we're going to continue doing that, as well as doing these 25 roofs and sharing the stories that I'm looking forward to meeting these recipients. I'm looking forward to sharing their stories. And again, my goal is to, inspire other people, whether that's just someone that just has a job that could just volunteer at like I don't know, something, you know what I mean? But like, hey, I want to get involved in some way, whether that's partnering with us with Project Honor and helping the people that we visit, or like helping, hey, you know what? If there's someone you didn't choose, I want to give back in some way. Let me know where I can get involved in. Like, that would be awesome if we can get people to just we can help more. Because again, it's going to be difficult going through these applications, finding the right 25. But I know there's going to be more need than just we're not going to get 25 applications. We're going to get a lot more than that. And so,
Right.
if we all
So,
come together,
yeah,
definitely help.
So how do people get in touch with you? Give them the websites, the
Yeah,
numbers,
so
everything.
I mean www.eastcoastroofing.com, right? That's our website. Pretty simple. You go on our website, you're going to see the Giving Back for Guatemala page. You're going to see the Project Honor page. You can go on that Project Honor page and do the application. Follow us on Facebook. I think we have like
and
Twitter and Instagram.
Facebook and Instagram,
I
share
don't
all
have
the
those 2
initiatives.
things, so I don't. But yeah, but sharing those things, getting the word out there is obviously a huge, huge way to support. But get in contact with us, 609-646-1444. We've had the number since day one. There's other phone numbers we have, like 609-965-1900. But anyway, they all go to ring the same place. Call us up. If you're interested in getting an estimate, obviously call up. You could do all that kind of stuff. Hey, look, yeah. But if you're interested in getting involved in Project Honor in a way that's beyond just nominating somebody and you want to get involved, I mean, I'm happy to talk to people directly.
Right.
Just call up and say, hey, listen, I heard the podcast. I saw the Facebook reel, wherever you saw this, and be like, hey, I think I want to get involved, or I would like to know, hey, how could I get involved? And you want to brainstorm ideas, happy to help. Just ask for Shawn.
Nice.
Like, hey, I saw it. I want to get involved in Project Honor. Shawn said to ask for him. You know what I mean? And they'll get you in touch with me. And I, love to share and collaborate, and you know what I mean? Not looking for, I give God all the glory anyway, but I'm not looking for that for East Coast. I just really think that it'd be great to see this, like I would love to look back on it in a year from now and be like, look at what America did for its veterans and its things. you know.
Right. Cool. Well, he's Shawn Stiteler, East Coast Roofing, Siding, Windows. Thank you for the time, Shawn.
Yeah, no
I'm
problem at all.
glad to
Appreciate you
get-
having me and kind of spitballing some things out here. You know, it was fun.
Yeah, and if we missed anything, just keep on the lookout because it's only January.
It's only January. I know. Before we know it, this year's it's gonna be over. Awesome, man. Sounds good.